I was once watched a dating show, and there's this guy that has a really red lips, and I see what he's doing to it. It's not a lip balm. It's not a freaking a product that he used. It's actually just a habit of actually biting your own lips, because it's actually a lot cheaper to do that. But still, you need some lip balm to moisturize the skin, the surface skin itself. Because if you have a really bad diet, the lips will still patch. What do you call it? Like it's not smooth enough. It's not moisturized enough. So you need to counter with the lip balm itself. So yeah, and that's what I've been doing, because I'm just like too tired looking at my lips looking so pale when my diet's actually not helping me. So the action help. And this live stream is a bit different because I've been so upfront about don't be afraid. Like we will conquer the fear. We will not be overpowered by the fear. But then I come to realize that fear is actually helpful. Fear is not the enemy, because fear is a force of itself that is part of the creation of something that you want. And when I think about it this way, fear actually can help me manifesting things. And I start to coming back to the idea where I used to be, because we are coming back to that person, to that version, the oldest version of myself, of being that confident person. And I get to notice that I need to use fear to stop delaying whatever I'm doing. To just like understand there's a risk. But when I become so balanced in my flow, when I became like really I know what to do and all this stuff, like I'm becoming a boss of my own thing, it's not really helping. So I there is this what do you call it? Support of knowing yourself, and it's called human design. And human design is actually really extra for me. I don't learn it to a T, but there is a section of my chart in human design that said I actually use the power of guilt better. So there are other type of power, and I use that power to actually power up my system. And I'm like, and it catch my mind because I'm working with fear in a much more productive way. I understand that at some point, if I want to, if I want to move faster, I need somewhat like something that is about crashing down, and it's going to turn on my resourcefulness, my swiftness, and eventually I get to do things. And that usually how it's done. But I notice that my system can't take it because I get burn out so well. And I stop here and there for a couple of times on this journey, and I notice that I can't do that. That's why like I turn it off. But now we are in a place where the system is complete enough for me to go back into that area and start reworking my nervous system again, to understand that I can use guilt. I can sustain this much of pressure in my system to eventually get me to work. Now, if it's if it's a healing session, I will actually let it go, the fear. Like I don't contain it in my own body. I don't let the pressure cook my system, because I need to heal. I need to let the cells grow undisrupted. But now it's like the system is so well built, but there is no force that can support me to do things. So I'm going back into this idea that there is this risk. You need to understand it. If you're not doing it right now, you will have this. So there is a consequence. Now, I don't talk about karma. This is not about karma. It's just an action, reaction and action thing. And I need to go into that state again to eventually have the swiftness and the resourcefulness to come up and just like fucking do it right now. That's the thing. So this is the only time. So that's why like inner work is so fickle, because at one time you need to let go, and then on the other time you need to actually contain that and start moving yourself, start flowing with it. It's such a different area. And that's why I said like in healing you need to actually leave the room, because this is not the room that you need to be. But when it's about manifestation, when it's about productivity, when it's about ending procrastination, this is really helpful. And I'm going back into that. It's very subjective, I know that. And there are other subjective things that you need to learn where to do it. This is one of them. The other things actually about, so my MBTI is INTJ. So as a woman, INTJ, it's rare because it is such a male dominated personality, because it was such a detached, we are not working with emotion well, because we know what to do, we know how to get things done, we just like fucking do. It's nowhere to be like feeling all that stuff. And that's why like I go into the 20 years because of this, because of my system have placed itself in such a way that I can connect with other humans. It feels weird. It feels like I am alienating myself, but I need to do that because this is my mission. So in INTJ, what did I want to talk about? This is very distracting. I forgot the main line. Oh no. Shit. Oh no. Oh, okay. So as an INTJ, it's very detached personality. And when someone actually display an emotion, we are like, that doesn't make sense. There are that type of reaction. Pretty common for INTJ. So one time I was hugging my friends because we actually celebrating something, and I'm like, and I get out from the moment. I'm like, well, while I'm hugging my friend, like, why are we doing this? It was that detached, and it's not like we don't know that it is actually common sense to like enjoy the moment and understand that this is just the time to do that. But there is such a detached experience for an INTJ, because when an INTJ feel emotion, it's not like we are part of the play. It's like I'm looking at a painting that is moving like a painting in the Harry Potter newspaper somewhat, and I am the bystander. I am not the player of that. And that's why like whenever someone display an emotion, even though like it is common sense to let the things flow and not be so logical about it, there is a detachment there. So, and this is like what I have talked about, understanding where to do things. And as an INTJ, I learned that when someone displays an emotion, I need to reply it, reacting, react to it in a connective experience. It's not like they need to be judged, they need some solution, because that's what INTJ best of. And I know that I'm best of that, but I learned that emotion needs to flow on its place, and there is a need for things to effortlessly flow to the next stage. Even though like, we know this person does. So this is the thing in my work, is that my work is heavily contain heavy emotion. And sometimes when you hear someone having a hard time, it's not the most preferable to ask the person who's still in emotional state to ask like, so what do you want? They're still crying, they're still like heavy in their emotion, all that stuff, and you ask them right there and then to think like what the next point, which is like an INTJ base. And somewhat most people are not able to let the moment flow, and it was most probably because we are living in such a broken world where emotion is not acceptable, and we are moving such a speed up way that when someone in heavily emotional state, they can't stay there. But in the alchemization of your soul, in the alchemization of your sequence of life, you need to stay there to stay still in your emotional state and feel your moment, and understand that this moment is actually very subjective. And if you cannot get out from the situation, from the moment itself, it's fine. Feel it until you have that level of enough. When you start exceeding the level of enough, then you need to cut it. And we can be harsh to you. We can be like really deliberately like, no, that's not how you do it. Like literally become the parents of your child kind of moment. Now I understand this is such a pragmatic idea, and I think if you are a great person, you know this without learning it. And I'm not born with such a high definition of compassion, so I eventually learn it, and I get to know, oh, that's why. And there's no rush. That's the thing. And this is like the time and place that is needed for something to happen. Just like how I use the fear, not really letting it go, not really detaching it, but alchemize it in my own experience so that I get to get what I want to do. And yep, great goodness, we are actually getting to the point of it. So that's the thing. And I say my piece, and this is like a really weird way to live stream whatever I want to say. So we got to. Do we want to talk about something else? Nope. I just think about the abbreviation of the time and place. TOP. Is that the right way to say it? I don't know if you noticed. I just want to say that because it catch my mind. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.